Today we're going to be talking about the 1511S exit check, the delayed egress locking system. We have many different features on this lock, most of which are dip switch selectable, which is nice. We have our audible speaker and our LED countdown display running at a 12 or 24 volt function. There is 3 different language selections that can be requested upon request. We have English, Spanish, and French. English, of course, is going to be the standard in that. With a 0 to 1 second nuisance delay, we've got an integrated key reset and bypass switch here, which gives us a 15-second to 30 adjustable, depending on building code, or a 15-second fixed countdown timer. It's got a 1,650 pound holding force and a energy saver option with a 1,200 pound holding force. So this lock is what you call green friendly, running at only 450 milliamps. At a 24 volt power consumption, and the energy saver only taking up a power consumption of about 275 milliamps when you are in the 24 volt DC operating mode. I did talk about the 0 to 1 second nuisance delay, and I'm going to go ahead and show you that right now. When we push on the bar just slightly, you're going to get a beep. And that's basically letting you know that you are going to be entering into the irreversible alarm sequence if you continue through this passage. So it's basically saying, hey, back off, I'm about to go into irreversible alarm. If I go ahead and hold down on this, now it's going to initiate into
12 seconds.
That irreversible alarm sequence. Now that voice you're hearing is a female voice. We also have a male voice for a little bit more aggressive approach. Now it's going to say exit now. You're going to see 6 dashes come across. We'll open the door. It is called irreversible alarm because it's going to stay on until we reset it. So you're going to go ahead and click on the key switch there, and it's going to bounce back, going to reset. You're going to see 15 right back up here. Now that key reset that I was talking about also has a bypass option. What we'll do is we'll switch the lock like this. You're going to see 2 dashes come up on our screen. It's going to let you know that you are in bypass mode. Now if you go ahead and open the door, you'll see that the alarm does not go off. You'll also notice that the dashes up there are there's 6 dashes, meaning that your door is open. When you lock it, you're going to see that there's 2 dashes. Those are going to stay there until you hit the reset, in which the 15 is going to pop up. This lock can be used in many different applications, from nursing homes to airports, rehab facilities, even in the backs of warehouses, etc. So in the end, the 1511S is the solution for them all.
Alright, now that Hunter's showed you the operation of 1511S, I'm going to discuss a little bit about the features and the dip switch settable and the actual operation of the 1511S unit. The 1511S and the double door unit, the 1511T, both work on a little bit of door movement. There's no real connection between the exit bar and the lock. It will work on just door movement as long as you have latching hardware on the door. Within the lock, I have a sensor, a proximity type Hall effect sensor, that is looking for this target. And in combination with the armature mounting plate, the mounting plate allows the target to move away from the face of the lock when the door still stays locked, but provides movement. This is what triggers our lock and puts it into delayed egress. Hunter mentioned the dip switches. What we have here are the dip switch selections. Switch number 1 is either the 15 or 30 exit delay release time. Depending on code, if you have a fixed 15-second unit, this switch does not work. It'll just be 15 seconds only, It does not give you the option of 30 seconds. Nuisance time, most code jurisdictions are either 0 or 1 second. So this will give you a choice between the 0 and the 1. Request to exit is the actual authorized time to go out the door in, let's say, a nursing care facility home where the nurses and doctors have a code on the inside. They can put in their code, the lock will unlock, and it will not alarm. Trigger type, in the normal situation, we use our internal built-in motion trigger based on a little movement of the armature and the target. If you do not have latching hardware on your door, then we need you to use the MSB or a PSB bar as a switch bar and use that as a trigger. That way it does not false trigger with movement. Power up option is also dependent upon the code setting. Quite often, especially in California, it's required that after power loss to the unit is manually reset at the door by personnel. This is the one Hunter talked about as far as tone and voice. This unit can just do 3 different types of tones depending on the state of the unit, or it will do voice, and then the 2 choices with voice are the male voice or the female voice. Okay, go over here to show you the real basic connection for a single door. As you see here, that the basic connection for this is just power, and if I want my internal keypad to allow authorized egress from that door, we can connect that to our lock, to the Rex input. In addition to that, since our keypad, the 918, has 2 relays, I can use one for the Rex and a different code for a reset. So that'll be tied into the reset input. Another way to do that is like our 728 switch. Give you the same function as the built-in key switch, providing a reset and a bypass. The next type of setup is the patient protection system, where you have an infant protection system or some of the wandering patient systems. In these systems, the lock is generally unlocked, and the only time that it goes in, the only time it locks and would go into alarm is when someone carrying the baby with a bracelet, in the case of the infant protection system or the wandering patient system, the lock will lock down when the bracelet comes into range. And if the person continues to try to exit with that child, or the patient tries to go out, the unit will go into alarm and restrain them for the 15 or 30 seconds. All right, next setup would be your double door, and this is where we provide the 1511T or Tandem Unit. The 1511T Tandem Unit is composed of a 1511S, which is the master unit with its normal connections, and a similar sized magnet for the second door with reduced electronics, just providing control of the magnet and a sensor. So the sensor on the second door reports back to the master unit to cause either door of the 2-door set to go into alarm and release at the end of the time. So the simplest connection between these two is just 4 wires between the 1511S master and the 1511T slave. And that's just about it.